Hello guys, how are you? I'm Marina from Argentina and I'm a Chief Experience Officer of Gadventures. If you don't know what that is, when you come on a tour, in this case to South America, I will be one of the Chief Experience Officers leading your trip. So I will be showing you around, the places to see, which food you should try, which food you shouldn't, and basically being the connection between the place you're visiting and yourself. I've been working as a CEO for 4 years now, and I realized that traveling and working in service is my passion. So since then, I've been doing this and I love it. And I really miss it right now because, as you know, we are going through some difficult times where we cannot travel. But that doesn't mean that we cannot dream about places to see or add places to the bucket list, or maybe remembering the days we had when we were here. In this case, for me, it's a great tool because normally it would take a long time to visit different places in the city. But since we're doing virtually, we can jump from one place to the other without worrying about time. Besides working in Argentina, I also work in Brazil, Uruguay, Bolivia, and Chile. So those countries make the southern corner. So hopefully in the future, if you come on a tour, I might be able to show you around these places as well. So guys, let's start with the tour. I'm going to show you Buenos Aires, and to do that, since it's a really big city, I'm going to divide it in 3 parts. First, we're going to go to the south, where we're going to talk about tango, about football, and about food, to the historical part of the city. Then we will go to the center, where we'll see the main streets and the main buildings. And then we'll go to the north, where we're going to find more parks and green areas of the city and the more modern buildings. Tell you how Buenos Aires is, the first thing that people say is that it's very European, that it's the Paris of South America. Until I wasn't there in Europe, I didn't know what people were talking about. But the real thing is that it is very European. We had a lot of immigrants coming to Buenos Aires and in general to Argentina. You can see that in the streets, in the architecture, and in the mix of people. Buenos Aires is divided in 48 neighborhoods or barrios. So what we're going to do is we're going to visit the main barrios so you can have an idea of what you can find in Buenos Aires. We will start with the south, in the barrio of La Boca and San Telmo, okay? So the first barrio that we're visiting is La Boca. La Boca means the mouth. So the name of the city, of the barrio, is because it's located in the mouth of the Rio de la Plata. And this area used to be very hostile, very left behind, and was changed with the arrival of Italian immigrants, especially from the area of Geneva. They started living in this barrio in places that they started calling conventillos. So the conventillos is something that I'm going to show you right now in the area of Caminito. Okay guys, so now we are in Caminito, that is the iconic street of La Boca, okay, in this area with a lot of colorful buildings. Like I was saying before, when these Italian people moved to this barrio, they were living in houses with a lot of people inside. Like there was 2 families maybe together, and maybe other single people living with them. So these places were called conventillos. So what you can find in Caminito is some of the constructions that they used to live. The buildings and the houses are very colorful, not because they wanted to make them like that, but because they didn't go and buy painting for their houses, but they were using the leftovers painting of the boats. So the city started growing from the south, from the working class area. I don't know about you guys, but I'm very hungry right now. So since we are in Caminito, I can take you to try something very local and that you can find in all the parrillas in Argentina. I don't need to do any marketing to the meat to Argentina, but I want to show you a place where you can have a really good choripan. As you see here, it's just around the corner, this place called El Gran Paraíso. What are we going to eat in El Gran Paraíso? A choripan. So it's a food that it's really easy to eat. You can eat it standing, sitting, if there is a lot of people. Here we see inside the restaurant, and there is people waiting outside because it's very popular. There we have the parrilla. And over here, what I like about this place is that it's a museum restaurant. So it shows you how a house in that area was inside, and also you can have a really good choripan. So the choripan is a chorizo between two breads, but it sounds very, very simple, but it's really, really tasty. I don't know why the chorizos are different here, or what do they have. I think I didn't try choripan anywhere else. What makes the choripan really special is the chimichurri. The good thing about chimichurri is that it's not only for choripan. You can put it on your meat, on your vegan chorizo, or in your cheese, in whatever you want, on bread. The chimichurri, it's a sauce made with basil, garlic, oregano, pepper, and vinegar and oil. It's really basic, maybe I forgot something, but here they sell the dry version. So you can buy your bag of chimichurri, and then once you fly back home, you can make it like a real sauce, adding the liquid ingredients. There is many stories about why chimichurri is called like that, but the one I like more is the one that says that at the beginning of 19th century, there were some British prisoners of the Spanish crown that were in Buenos Aires, and they had to adapt to the lifestyle here. They tried this sauce, they really liked it, but they didn't know how to call it. So they were calling it in different words, mixing English and lunfardo, that is the under language of the immigrants. So they were saying, "Che, my curry, give me the curry," blah, blah, blah. So mixing those things, it became chimichurri. So I really like that story. And also another fun story is, do you see this guy here with the Boca shirt? Well, people in Argentina is very crazy about football, more than passionate, and very close to El Gran Paraíso. After you had your choripan, you can go and check La Bombonera, that is the Boca Juniors stadium. So La Bombonera, it's named like, it's like a bonbon box because of the shape. And a nice story that I like, it's how Boca Juniors chose the colors of its team. For those who don't know, Boca Juniors is the team of the South. So it's the team of the working class people, and the enemy of Boca is the team River Plate, that is the team of the North, of the rich people. So how Boca got their colors? They say that in 1907 they were deciding the colors of the team, and they said, okay, we're going to have the colors of the flag of the first boat that comes tomorrow to the port. So they went to sleep, and the next day the first boat that arrived in the port was from where? From Sweden. That's how the Boca Juniors team got its color. Now guys, we're going to leave La Boca and we're going to go to the next barrio, that is San Telmo. So San Telmo is one of the oldest neighborhoods in Buenos Aires. Used to be a barrio where the rich people were living, but in after the pandemic yellow fever in 1871, a lot of rich people moved to the north, leaving these houses free for the immigrants to turn them into these conventillos. So in the heart of the city, we can find the Mercado de San Telmo. This market started in 1870 to supply all these immigrants that were living in there, and it became like a symbol of San Telmo. Nowadays, we can find there a lot of antiques, food inside. It's a very interesting market, and on Sundays, you don't only have the market, but an artisan fair around. So if you want to buy some souvenirs or handicraft, it's a great place. It's a huge market. Last time I went to visit it, took me a long time. So very close to the Mercado is the Plaza Rio. It's just next to it, so you can visit it on your Sunday plan. And in Plaza Rio is a square where we always see tango happening. So there is always dancers, there is always people doing some shows. You can take a class, you can go to a cafe around. There is some artisan market too, and also the bars bring all the tables outside, so you can have a coffee there while you watch the dancers. If you want, you can try. If you want, you can take a picture and pretend that you're dancing. And if not, there is more in the north of the city. There is an area called Vereda del Tango, where you have different tales showing you the basic steps of tango. So that's another option too. So now guys, we're going to leave the south and we're going to go to the center of the city, to Plaza de Mayo. So Plaza de Mayo is the oldest and the most important of Buenos Aires. here in 1810 is where the revolution to become independent from Spain started. So since then it's been the scenario of all political events, all of them except for the independence. Around the Plaza de Mayo we have very important buildings, for example the government house, that is the pink one that we see here. From probably you remember Madonna playing Evita singing Don't Cry For Me Argentina in the balcony. The Metropolitan Cathedral, where the Pope Francis gave Mass for more than 20 years. And from there also, if we walk straight, we will get to the Congress of Buenos Aires. So I want to explain you what is the symbol that you see on the floor, the white one. So this symbol represents the Madres de Plaza de Mayo. So through the second half of the 20th century, a lot of countries in Latin America were going through some political instability signed by military governments. In 1976, Argentina started a process of 6 years where the government started a plan to eliminate illegally and systematically more than 30,000 people through kidnap, torture, and executions. So, when these people were kidnapped, the mothers of these young people started asking in the government, where is my son, where is my daughter? And they would gather around this pyramid, Pirámide de Mayo, that symbolizes freedom. They would gather around it and walk together. And as a symbol of their search, they started using this white neckerchief that at the beginning were the diapers of their babies as a representation of their search. This search is something that's still continuing. A lot of these people who were kidnapped were pregnant, the women so a lot of babies were put into families that were not the real families. So once they grew, they started asking for their identity. So these mothers created like a DNA bank. If you had doubts of who your parent was, you could go and do a DNA test. So nowadays there is a lot of grandchildren recovered. I don't remember at this moment the number, but there is a lot. So we're hoping to still finding people who were disappeared during these dark years. And also the symbol, it's a reminder that we never want to go through something like that again. So now guys, we're leaving Plaza de Mayo and I want to show you the Avenue 9 de Julio, 9 of July, the Independence Day. So in Avenue 9 de Julio, that is this one, the main one, it connects the north and the south of the city. And there is only one building on this avenue, and it's the Ministerio de Obras Públicas, or it's known like the Ministry of Work. And what is curious about this building, it's the only one that has an address on Avenida 9 de Julio and also has two murals on each side. Two murals of Evita. In the murals, we can see two faces of Evita. For those who don't know, Evita Perón was the wife and the first lady, wife of Juan Domingo Perón, who was a very popular president. She did a lot for the working class, she did a lot for women, so she was very loved and respected in the working class areas, and she wasn't very liked in the rich areas in the north. So here, we can see two sides of Evita. When she's looking at the south, she's very gentle and happy and smiley. And when she's facing north, she's more strict, more severe, with like a fighty face, screaming to the microphone. So she's being nice to her people and more strict to the people in the north. Alright, back in Avenida 9 de Julio, we're going to go towards the obelisco. The obelisco is the symbol of Buenos Aires. It looks very cool at night. It was built in 1936 for the 4th anniversary of the first foundation of the city. And since we are in the obelisco, we're very close to go to Calle Corrientes. Maybe you're wondering, because this street looks pretty normal, why it's so special. So the Calle Corrientes is famous for theaters, cinemas, coffees and pizza. So this street is the street that never sleeps. There is always things happening. Shops are open until very late. And it's famous because here they say that a lot of worldwide known artists from Argentina gave their first steps here. One example is Carlos Gardel, who sings Mi Buenos Aires querido, Caminito, Por una cabeza, and he started working in the Teatro Opera that is on Calle Corrientes. So in Calle Corrientes we can find food, culture and entertainment all at the same time. Here I'm going to show you a plan that you can do. Here I'm showing you Pizzeria Guerrín, Teatro Apollo Comedy, and then at the back is the Obelisco. Okay, so something that you can do is go to the theater and then go for some pizza. The Pizzeria Guerrín is one of the pizzerias porteñas. They're very popular. There is a lot around Calle Corrientes. And they're open. It's open, this one, until 2 a.m. So you can go to the theater and after have some pizza. The pizza here is not maybe like the one you're used to. It's very fat, very cheesy, very tasty. I recommend to try the fugaceta rellena. So it's like an onion pizza with ham and cheese inside. It's super, super tasty. Probably you don't know this, but Buenos Aires is one of the 5 cities with more theaters in the world. So here you can stroll around and choose whatever you want to see. So since we are in Calle Corrientes and only 3 blocks away from a remarkable bar, I wanted to show you also this. So we're still in Calle Corrientes and here we can see a library, a coffee shop and a theater. And then in front of it there is also another theater. So all around Buenos Aires, there is places called bares notables, so it means like remarkable coffees. All around Buenos Aires, we can find these remarkable bars. They were the meeting point of big personalities in the art industry. So a lot of singers, poets, actors, they would gather in these cafes and have long discussions while having a cortado. A cortado, it's also something that you can order and feel like a real porteño. The cortado is an espresso coffee with just a little bit of milk to make it less bitter, and the sign to order it is doing just like this. You do it like this, and that means the bartender is going to understand what you want. So the most famous remarkable bar is Café Tortoni, that is in Avenida Mayo, close to Plaza de Mayo. And this one always had a table for Carlos Gardel, so it's very popular. A lot of people go there. But the truth is that there is a lot, and because of their architecture or their history or their antique, they became a symbol of the city and they are heritage of the city as well. I wanted to show you El Gato Negro because it's a bit less known than Café Tortoni, and it's very cool because you can buy spices that are sold like in the old times. So it's a really cool place to see. So now guys, we will leave the center and we'll go to the north of the city, to the area with a lot of parks and green areas. It's actually the lungs of the city. And I will start with the Recoleta neighborhood. Just quickly to show you the cemetery because it's something you must see. I recommend going with someone who explains you about the people who is buried there. It's very famous because of its architecture. Some of the mausoleums are really, really beautiful, and also a lot of important people from Argentina are buried there. And I will show you also the Facultad de Derecho. Just to tell you a bit about education in Argentina, this university is free, as a lot of them. And here, if you want to study, you don't have to pay for your education, which is something really cool. And I will show you something of the building. So here we're seeing the building of the Universidad de Derecho, the law university. So if you want to study here, you can come. You wouldn't have to pay anything. And something curious about this university is that it has a urban legend. So if you are a student here, you should never count the columns that you see on the building, because if you count them, you will never finish that career and you will have to drop it and change your choice. So that's something that you need to know if you want to study there. Also here we can see these purple trees that are really pretty and are all around Buenos Aires in spring, are called jacaranda, and they gave this purple look to the city in spring that it's really, really nice. Around here also we can find the planetario, that is the astronomic observatory, where there is always events. You can bring your kids and you can come with your friends as well, because they always organize things for different ages. I went to some concerts here too, so it's pretty cool in summer. And the last place I wanted to show you is El Rosedal. So this is also part of the Bosques de Palermo. So now we are in the neighborhood of Palermo, where we find all these parks, and it's one of the areas that porteños prefer to go and do some exercise and run and meet their friends. These places on weekends are very crowded, but there is room for everyone. So now normally people would bring their mate, that I will show you in a minute what it is, and enjoy it by the lakes. This garden is called El Rosedal. So in spring they plant roses. Well, the roses grow, and there are more than 9,000 roses. So it's really, really pretty in spring. And since we are in the green areas, and I told you about mate, I'll show you what it is here. Probably you see walking around Buenos Aires people with these cups. This is a drink called mate. You write it like mate. And you're gonna find it all around South America, but in different versions. In Brazil, they drink it with cold water, while in Argentina and Uruguay, for example, we drink it with hot water, so it's a hot beverage. And the main thing about the mate is that we share it, so we all drink from the same straw. Nowadays, what you can do is either share it only with your family if they are staying in the same place, or DYOM, drink your own mate. That's what I do. Alright guys, that was it for now. I hope you enjoyed this virtual tour and you can come to Buenos Aires in person next time. I'll be here if you want to ask more questions, and well, I hope I see you soon. Stay healthy, bye bye.